All right. Okay, so we're recording. We can just we'll do a cold start. So
Old stuff.
okay, yeah. So yeah, we can just basically talk about whatever, and we'll work our way into it, and I'll just
Yeah.
trim it. It's
Recording right now?
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I guess what do you want to know most? What are you most curious about right now?
Okay, okay. So I still haven't really figured out what I want the story to be,
Hmm.
but I think I want to do it in the setting we began because I liked the setting and I felt like there was like room to I don't know to explore more of that.
Yeah.
Um,
You talked about
and
the possibility, though, of expanding outside of Hither. You just mean within the domain of Prismeer, correct?
correct, yeah, I guess so. Within the domain of Prismeer. Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, there's Yon and Thither, and both of those have like their own creatures that you get to deal with, and their own what do you call it? Like they exist in different times of day, so there's different difficulties with each section. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with all these three sections.
Okay. So I guess in regard to the witches themselves,
Huh.
um, I I wanted to, I guess, sort of talk about their power level, I guess, um, and it's probably going to end up kind of being major spoilers, but there's likely not a lot to be done about
Major spoilers ahead for sure.
that. So I
Without it.
guess so when I think about these three witches,
Yeah.
we're talking about these three witches like split time into these three like sets, right? Or I don't know, maybe just like the cycle of night and day. And the Feywild is a constantly shifting plane, if I understand it.
Yeah.
So to have sort of like quartered off, or I guess they cut it into thirds, but partitioned these separate um, they sort of like boxed something that was unboxable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I think about this and like they're so powerful that you like literally can't move, you can't leave like their domain.
Right.
And all of these creatures are basically trapped here.
Hmm.
Uh, I guess I'm just curious to know like how powerful are we talking, because this sounds like some like god level shit, which I'm super cool with.
Okay. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of history that'll kind of tell you just how powerful they are, okay?
Okay.
Scabatha, Bavlorna, and Endelyn are all daughters of Baba Yaga. So they're pretty powerful. But there is a fourth daughter named Igvilv, who is an adopted daughter of Baba Yaga. And essentially, Baba Yaga kind of favored Igvilv, and the other three were really jealous. And as Igvilv grew in power, the three sisters knew they started like conniving with each other and plotting against Igvilv. And God, there's so much history here. Um, they started plotting against her, and then eventually they used this cauldron that she had to freeze the palace. So they froze her in time in the palace that is in the center of the map. It's covered in oh, it's just below the fog. But anyways, they trapped her in time, and once they did that, they took over the domain of Prismere, which used to be just one whole big piece of land. But when the three sisters took over, they squabbled so much about who got what, they just decided, all right, we're going to section it off. And so that's what they did is I liked your imagery of like the sisters like coming up and being these giant colossal beings that are like bringing up that fog that separates each section.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's a scene I would really, really like to visit because in my mind
yeah.
it's so epic. And the thing is, what I kind of picture happening, and especially since they're sort of working together to do this, is that like the sisters are somewhere, casting the spell, and then it's the people who are witnessing, these titanic cloud figures, reaching and wrapping their arms around these vast stretches of land, which I'm sure would be terrifying and apocalyptic feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine everyone would feel very helpless.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they all just became prisoner, except for the people who live underground, which makes them a really interesting caveat.
Oh yeah, that was also a homebrew thing because darklings travel by going underground. So I was like, oh, it just makes sense that these darklings that live here would have tunnels underground and could like find their way through them.
Well, it's kind of crazy if you think about it because the Darklings have a lot of power if they are able to sort of bypass these divisions that the witches have created. And it's also kind of interesting because it's like, what else is underground? If the witches have less strength underground than they do above it.
That's an interesting. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. It's
Yeah,
probably something they're not aware of.
I mean, there's clearly tunnel systems, right? And it's clearly
Yeah.
dangerous. So, like, not just anyone can go there. But it's almost like
Right.
it's that like fantasy trope where it's like, well, we'll be safer there because it's so dangerous. We're venturing into the dark forest. the
Yeah.
the forest of random fires and ROUSs. Or
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I can definitely see there being stuff down there, and it sounds like we've established that at least Bavlorna is in communication with this group as well. At least one of the groups.
Oh, Charm.
Mm-hmm.
She was an elder darkling. Charm was actually um um oh she what's the word? She was actually she was having that conversation with Bavlorna and being all friendly and shit. She was using a magical power of hers that she uses to detach her shadow to steal something from Bavlorna's attic to take it to one of her sisters because she secretly works for one of her sisters.
Oh shit.
So there's that connection as well.
Charm was a spy. Holy fuck.
Yeah, kind of.
Damn. Hmm.
But yeah, I imagine Darklings would have quite a lot of power. And there's another species that does live underground. I believe they're called Corrids. I'm going to. Oh, yep, there it is. Um, yeah. I mean, go to 5e quick and look up Corrid so you can just kind of get a quick look. It's Korred. They basically look like a mix between a goat and a dwarf, but they're incredibly small. Um, but they might be something fierce to come up with in those underground systems. The other thing would be a Briganock. That is the other creature that would be an interesting thing to run into, or would have a society down with the uh, uh, Darklings.
What was that first race called?
Korred, that's Korred.
Hmm.
And I'll spell the second race for you in a second here.
Corrid. Oh, what the fuck? They're like little hairy sprites.
Yeah, yeah, and it's their hair is like magical. So if you cut their hair, it's just a little fun tidbit. If you cut their hair, whatever you cut their hair with is what their hair turns into. So if you cut it with golden shears, it will turn into gold. If you cut it with iron shears, it'll turn into iron.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're a really interesting race.
Interesting. That is a much cooler depiction of like a rock gnome, I think, than like the
Yeah.
typical rock gnome flavor.
And the other race is Briganock. I just sent it to you there because I don't want to spell it. It's a long word. Briganock.
Briganock.
Yeah. That's the other race that would be down in the systems that you might run into.
What the fuck is that thing? Tiny Fae.
Yeah, I know. A fun little thing.
Whose spirits manifested outside of their bodies. Oh, what the fuck? It's like at its back?
Yeah, that little blue light in the back. I don't know if you see the picture I'm seeing, but yeah.
What the hell? Interesting.
Yeah. And they're basically they're like sweet little guys, whereas Koreds are like little devilish assholes. Well, chaotic neutral, but yeah.
Okay, so we've got these like societies of things down here. Like this thing is wearing
Yes.
clothes and he's got a pickaxe. And this
Yes.
other thing looks intelligent.
Intelligent enough.
Enough. Looking at this picture, it's kind of there.
He's not in the negative, so
That's
his
funny.
intelligence is 10.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got these underground things. So anyways, I guess regarding the power level of these witches, it
Yeah.
really does seem like they're like god level witches. Like they're freezing time.
They froze time through a spell that they used by using Igvil's cauldron. So they're kind of borrowing from Igvil's magic to fuel their own. Igvilv was a very powerful. Ooh, interesting. She was gaining power by exploring the abyss and demonic entities and how to summon them and how to control them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind of gaining in power. So I think yes, the witches are very powerful, but they're also pulling from a fourth witch that isn't able to use her own powers. So their powers are currently amped.
I see. Interesting. Okay. So, all right. So let me write these names down. We have Bavlorna. And
Hold up. I'll tell you. Sorry. The oldest one is Skabatha. Then it's Bavlorna, then it's Endolin.
Okay. Okay. So, Skabatha steals. She stole memories. She steals memories from everyone, right?
Um,
She had the Shroud's memories. I remember that much.
where is it?
Memories and precious
Oh,
things.
no, Scabatha. Yours was Bavlorna.
Oh, you're right.
Bavlorna. Scabatha was cautious. She stole children, actually. She has a collection of them.
Children.
Um, so Bavlorna just, I think memories, it's not memories specifically, but it is something that I guess she enjoys, I guess.
Okay.
Uh,
Memories and precious things.
Precious things, for sure. She likes to collect all sorts of things. She has all sorts of knickknacks everywhere throughout her house.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
like she hoards.
Definitely a hoarder. Um, I think she's the most disgusting of them all. Because she, like, her whole identity is around, like, if I can have other people do stuff for me, why should I have to do it? Like, she's lazy, she's a homebody, she's nasty.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So she's memory. All right. So
This is Bavlorna. We're kind of going all over the place. I'm sorry.
no. This is fine. So she's kind of a user. She's a manipulator. Um.
Definitely. And she's very much in the present, worried about what's going on now, who's going to help her now. She doesn't care about the future, what happened before, what's happening now.
Hmm.
And
Okay. Doesn't care about
definitely
the
a user.
future or before. Why does she collect things?
That's a good question. I never thought about the why.
So, what is the thing she mostly collects?
No, I honestly don't know if there is a specific answer to that. It might be in her chapter. I don't think it's in her chapter because I've read it several times. I don't, I don't know. That is something that we could make up. You could make up.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
something I thought was I know she collects memories because I just remembered that much. Um, and I was giving that some thought, and it seems to me that someone who collected memories would actually be much older, in a sense, than like their body would necessarily be. If this is something she's like experienced, is like all of these lives of other people or things that she's taken and stolen.
I mean, if you look at the picture of Bavlorna, that's a pretty accurate description. She looks pretty old and wrinkly and almost mummified.
Let's look at this Baborna art.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's one where she's crouching on a lily pad that's being held up by tendrils that are sprouting from beneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Oh, I
Interesting.
forgot. Avlorna's favorite hobby is taxidermy. I forgot about that about her.
Whoa, that's
In
interesting.
fact,
What the
in
fuck?
fact, guess what happened to Tavi?
Holy shit, he got taxidermied?
He sure did.
Holy shit. That's
Yeah, her lordlings overwhelmed him and got him.
holy fuck. Okay. Well, glad I didn't fucking go with that guy. Damn.
He might not have been overwhelmed if y'all were with him.
Yeah, but I
Who
think he
knows? Who
snuck
knows?
off, he kind of did his own thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So
So
how how married are you to the predefined I guess, tone of the witches.
The predefined tone?
What am I trying to say? Okay, so like this art of Bavlorna. I don't know. So I'm thinking about like these witches are like gods, and I just wonder if hmm. Let's see some art of the other witches. Actually, maybe I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I mean, if you're talking about like changing what they look like, I mean, go for it. If you have an idea that better fits this personality that we're kind of growing here,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with that. That's kind of what I mean, that's what D&D is. It's like build
See.
upon what's already there.
Oh, interesting. Here's a picture of the three of them using the cauldron.
Oh, I want to see that.
Let me send this to you. I'll just post my ongoing notes there. Open a new tab. Let's try that. Discord, why? Whoa, what? I just got logged out. Hang tight. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, recording?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, but you got a lot of that written down though, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much written down.
Yeah. Okay.
I got the vision in there. It's coming together.
Okay. Endolin is the one that has foreseen her future, um, and knows that she dies at an eclipse. And in this story, there are two high elf twins that represent the sun and the moon, and she has captured them and kept them separate because she fears that they will be her demise. And so she controls she controls them to control her own future.
Interesting.
Because there can't really be an eclipse in the Feywild. So she imagines this eclipse is going to be more less literal, more figurative. Yeah, and you can take that or leave it or drop it or add to it, whatever. Oh, I love this.
Interesting. Yeah. They're high elf entities that represent the sun and the moon.
Well, they're go to their character block. Oh wait, that's in and that's in Young. Ugh. And I'm really glad I went through this book before this because like now I have a pretty decent memory for where things are in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And the illustrations in here are really... If you want to borrow this book sometime, let me know, because illustrations in here are pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like I mostly want to reference the map and reference the setting. Yeah. And then maybe tell some of the story of like the founding and what the setting is, and just kind of get the other players caught up with what's actually going on in here.
Yeah. Okay, I can't find their thing right now. Let's talk about
That's okay. The creeping end. The chilling end.
Creeping Lynn or the bitter end?
The bitter end.
Oh, here they are. Oh. Oh, okay. So these two high elves, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
These two high elves are twins, and they used to be acrobatic performers for the Witchlight Carnival. But when Endolin found out about them, she was like, I think these these people are going to be my demise. So she captured them, brought them to her plane, and kept them separate so that she could have control over them. So that, um, yeah. So in the hopes that she won't die.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
And the funny thing about them is their grand, and this is total coincidence, but they're blessed by Corleone, who was Ira's god.
That's so
Total
random.
coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's so random. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Damn. Damn, that was such a good story.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay. What's up with Endelin's face? She looks like a zombie. Endelin. Let's get a look at those peepers.
Yeah.
That's not right.
She's kind of skeletal. Oh, she has more than two arms.
Endelin
She has
finding.
4 arms. I never realized that.
Oh shit, what the fuck? She
She
has
has
four
four
arms?
arms. Yeah. And if you look at the bottom of her dress, it kind of looks like her dress is walking for her.
Ooh. Endelin Moongrave. Someone used Mid Journey to generate the Hourglass Coven.
That's Mid Journey.
It's image AI. I'm trying to get like a really close.
Oh.
Ooh,
Ooh. I want to see.
ooh, this is kind of interesting. So like this, here's an image of Endelin Moongrave, uh, and she's like a collection of skulls in a black dress.
Whoa.
And then I guess Scabba Nightshade over here.
Whoa. Yeah, like Death and Decay is Endelin. The
Mm-hmm.
Bitter End, their future. Oh my god. Oh, that's good imagery.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the, and I feel like I would really like to see the witches. Um. Oh gosh.
Oh, you're
Oh,
back.
oh, sorry about that.
Maybe not.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I was saying was I'd really like to see the witches, uh, have more of sort of this I don't know, this entity vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because they're
Yeah.
so crazy powerful. Let's see what she normally looks like. Oh, interesting. Let me share this with you as well. So I guess this is what she normally looks like, which actually I think is pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Yeah. With the
Her, like,
forearms and the puppeteer.
so she's like
Oh,
a,
she's all about control too. All about control.
she seems to be like an arcanist, a scientist. Like she's got that contraption next to her here.
Oh, the lightning thing. She is a scientist. So there are these so she okay. She lives in a mountain range that's like very stormy and it was gonna be completely nighttime whenever y'all got there, always night all the time. And so it's really stormy and rainy all the time. And so there are these towers that are built into uh, the mountain, and lightning will strike the towers, and the towers collect the lightning's energy, and then at certain times of day, the lightning sparks across the mountaintops to a centered one that's much bigger that powers her theater that she has. So she is kind of a scientist. Canon.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So she is a scientist. You would almost think that Skabatha would be the scientist.
How would you say that?
Because Skabatha is like a toy doll thing. You know what I mean?
That's well, between making toys and harnessing energy, which one sounds more sciencey?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's just I don't know, I guess I figured like her witch territory was like crafting things, you know, crafting dolls and toys and
I
and
see
so
where
I
you're
was like,
coming from.
okay, she must be the craft one, whereas Bavlorna's the swamp one, and I guess I expected her for Indolin to be more of like a diviner, you know?
I mean, she kind of is. There's definitely flavor there for that because she's obsessed with with the future, and other people come to her for their futures.
She looks super undead. Is she not undead?
Well, she can't die. That's one thing that's about her is she's immune to any effect that would age her, and she cannot die from old age. So she's old as shit, I feel like.
That sounds pretty undead to me. I guess she's like technically alive, but she's looking awfully skeletal.
It's like she's immortal, but her body has isn't immune to the effects of time.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She's got like that death veil thing she's wearing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she's like very
The death veil.
bony.
Yeah.
You can see like the individual like knuckles in her fingers, you know.
Yeah.
But like looking at her neck, I'm like, I don't know, that actually kind of looks like a fucking spine. Undead question mark? Immune to aging.
Yep. Basically, in my mind, because she saw herself die during an eclipse, if there is a quote unquote eclipse around, she becomes susceptible to death.
Hmm.
That's like the key to killing her. Which is why
So
she
somehow.
imprisoned the twins.
So the players just need to somehow fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah,
By
and that's where they can get creative with it.
interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Eclipses of any kind.
All these witches have a weakness. That's Endolin's. Bavlorna's is stupid, so you should make up a new one. And then what's Scabatha? Scabatha's weakness. Scabatha is also kind of dumb. Scabatha forgets the first creature she sees when she wakes after a long rest. And Bavlorna is allergic to people running widdershins, which means counterclockwise. So I feel like they could use.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little ridiculous.
Holy shit, that is a very far cry from the creativity level of eclipses make you vulnerable to death, which is
I
fucking
know.
awesome.
I know.
Wow.
So definitely, I'm sure you can come up with something more thematic.
Okay, okay. Damn, yeah, I kind of want to. I really, really like the vibe of Indolin. And honestly, I like both art. I like the AI generated art, but I also really like her regular art too.
Yeah, she's cool
Um,
shit.
interesting. Interesting. I feel like there's room to brainstorm for Indolin. What kind of all right, so she's supposedly seen her death, right? Has
Yes.
Can she just see the future at will?
Uh, I'm reading her little blurb.
Because I feel like if anyone's gonna have the long con going, it's gonna be Indolin setting up these random things, seemingly random, disparate things.
Um, I feel like she can probably do it at will. It doesn't say explicitly in here.
Okay, yeah, I like the idea that Indolin has like crazy foresight.
She's a prophet of sorts.
She can
She has the
just.
eye.
She has the eyes of Indolin.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Also, her name is Endelyn. Just a heads up.
E N
I don't know if
D
you got
E
that.
L Y. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
actually
it's
had some
all
difficulty
these.
searching for
And
her. Uh,
oh,
what can you tell
sorry.
me about Gleam? Oh no, this is my fault.
About the what?
About Gleam?
Gleam. Yeah. Let me go back to our page here. Gleam. So they're called. Oh God, this is so hard for me to say. Selenelian. Selenelian twins is what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, I don't like that. That's a hard word. Um, basically, okay. Oh, it's all about astrology. Okay, so I'm just gonna read you this. A selenelian is a celestial event during a lunar eclipse in which the sun and the eclipsed moon can be observed at the same time, either just before sunset or just after sunrise, when both bodies appear just above the horizon at nearly opposite points in the sky. So it's kind of celest or like astrologically themed.
Mm-hmm.
Right word? Um,
Interesting. You know, it makes sense for Indolin to have very strong astrology, astronomy themes, uh,
oh yeah.
because she's obsessed with eclipses and dying.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'll write this down.
Um,
Write this down.
oh yeah, yeah. I'll pause, but I got more on them, so you
Astrology.
just let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
So they're the Selenelian twins because they were born during this type of event. Because they were born during this event, they have different powers. So Gleam has moonlight powers and Glisser has sunlight powers. Those are their names. Those, of course, everything is subject to change.
Gleam and
Um,
glitter. And
and
they serve her
yeah,
willingly.
they serve her. No, they were they used to perform the acrobatics for the Witchlight Carnival.
Mm.
And when Endelyn found out about them, she was like, I need to control them because they might be my demise. But if I control them, then they can't possibly be my demise. So she
Gotcha.
kidnapped them and separated them.
So she didn't like imprison them. She like put them to work.
Um, so Gleam is the one that she uses to uh gather people from other planes or gather what she wants from other planes. Blister is imprisoned somewhere. It might be in her theater. There's a lot of theater themes with Endlin and her like puppeteers and everything.
Interesting. I guess they went the puppeteering route because of her ability to see ahead. But again, I feel like that sort of, I would have expected the puppeteering route to come more from Skabatha, who's
I
like
do agree with that.
this doll creature, doll witch, you know.
It's very toy adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it makes sense because it's specifically puppeteering. And I'm going to say it again, puppeteering is all about control and controlling those your puppets, you know?
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
how she views the people that work for her. They're her puppets.
So what
But I
is the?
totally, yeah,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
on.
No. I was going to say I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was gonna ask. So what's the relationship between the three witches now?
Like how do they view each other and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
They are always conniving with each other against each other. So Bavlorna plots with Skabatha, Skabatha with Endolin, Endolin with Bavlorna. Just like it's just a triangle of plotting against each other constantly. And it's in the book it says it's never very serious and nothing ever really comes of these things, but it's I mean, that's
Hmm.
not very fun.
Mm. Interesting. Bavlorna, Skabatha, and
They're all
Indolin.
very selfish in nature.
Interesting. I really like the idea that Indolin is up to something, but it's such a long con that
Ooh,
Skabatha and Bavlorna don't know what it is.
that's great.
And
I
I
love that.
like the idea that the witches are kind of afraid of each other too.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I gotta figure out
Love
what I
that
want to
too.
do with Skabatha. But I feel like I kind of know what I want to do with Bavlorna, in terms of like her being a hoarder, her representing stagnation.
Mhm.
They all kind of have themes of death, where Bavlorna is like the rotten death, and
Ooh, write that down. Write that down. That's good. That can be another name for Bavlorna. I like that a lot. Rotten death. Oh.
she's like, um she represents like stagnation and like uh things that would sort of evoke feelings of disgust, from having just like neglected
Yeah.
herself,
Yeah.
but because when I think lazy, I I feel like Bavlorna. What if Skabatha could be in any of her bodies? Like she had multiple bodies. Because I feel
Gotcha.
like if Skabatha makes new bodies for herself, then it's harder for Indolin to know what her future is going to be. And it's also harder for Bavlorna to catch Skabatha doing what Skabatha is doing. And
Yeah.
Indolin, on the other hand, is playing a long con and she's doing things and preparing for something, but it's not clear what. And so when it comes to Bavlorna, I feel like faced with these other two, who it's like hard for her to keep a finger on. I feel like Bavlorna is like afraid and paranoid, and she's safest in her tower, you know, and so she sort of reaches out through her Lornlings and through other things.
Lorna is described as paranoid, and that's precise. Yes, that is precisely why she stays home and has things. That is another reason why she stays home and has her Lornlings do her things for her. She's very paranoid that her sisters are going to come and take the things that she has gathered, things from her collections. Kind of like a true hoarder.
So I think we probably could. I may actually stick with Skabatha's doll toy flavor, because the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to envision this this like craftswoman witch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a doll maker, a toy maker witch, which I actually think there's a lot of room there to be interesting, although I may change her appearance from her Cotton Eye Joe look to something.
Sure.
So the sisters are afraid. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that.
What would you want her? That's okay. What do you have an idea for what kind of imagery you want Skabatha to portray? What you want her to look like?
I think Skabatha. Okay, so what I would want to do with Skabatha is that Skabatha has her dolls, right? And she makes these bodies and she sort of moves between the bodies.
Ooh.
And so I feel like what's kind of scary about Skabatha is that it's hard to know if the person that you're dealing with is Skabatha, unless like
That's
she wants
scary.
you to know, you know.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I guess I'm imagining she could just don a body and like walk into town, you know, and maybe do the like the classic like, oh, I'm disguising my power level thing. You know, where like no one's like, oh my god, like I'm in the presence of like this entity. But then if she needed to, you know, she could do the thaumaturgy thing where like everyone suddenly can just feel her in the room, you know. So Skabatha. So Skabatha uses different bodies. I think that's really my biggest takeaway. Or she's using bodies. She's collecting children. Her true body is rotten. So the death.
Maybe she needs their youth.
Their youth. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is like she's crafting bodies. So I think what she is doing is like the other sisters, is she's postponing death, and she's building these bodies maybe as her own way to keep from dying.
I like that. That's cool.
But like, what are they all just naturally immortal? Or is that
I think they
only...
are, but they all have a definitive weakness where they can be killed.
Okay.
Um, One thing about Bavlorna that I don't think y'all quite got to is every morning she has to bathe in her pool because as the day goes on, her skin starts to wither and crack, and she, basically she has to bathe every morning to maintain the moisture in her skin and to maintain her form.
So
So I
Bavlorna's
think that's kind
body,
of her weakness.
she's like... Is she like falling apart? Or what's her deal?
She's just she's just creaky and kind of brittle. The closer to the end of the day it gets, because her skin dries out so fast.
Interesting. 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 Okay. Okay.
Y'all
Hmm.
were in her pool area. Do you remember that? That was where the cube came from. What is it called? Fuck. It's called a cube.
Gelatinous cube?
Is it? Yeah, gelatinous cube. Yeah.
Did
That
we
was her pool area.
did we kill that super fast?
Yeah, pretty fast.
I feel like that sounds like kind of familiar,
One
but I also like don't really remember a gelatinous cube.
of y'all got sucked into it. It like came out of a pipe in a pool that was stagnant after Alocasia went to go inspect it and poked at it.
Well, it sounds like we deserved it.
It was
Okay.
fun. It was fun.
Okay. So what is... Alright, so Indolin has like the truest undead immortality. I'll just call it that. Where she just... Eclipses of any kind make her vulnerable to death. So she just cannot be killed unless there's an eclipse of some kind nearby?
Yeah. Think of it as like every day, every normal day, she has immunity to death. And then when there's an eclipse, she she has a oh, I lost the word. A weakness for death. I lost the word.
Ooh, okay, these characters are becoming a lot more interesting. So I feel like Indolin has somehow obtained like like the undead lich style immortality, right? And it seems to be
Yeah.
tied. She somehow found a way to sort of trade her mortality away, but it's tied to eclipses. So I'm curious to know how this came to be. Skabatha is simultaneously chasing immortality through basically like stealing stealing children and making new bodies.
Uh-huh.
So I'll say this: she in a way has sort of obtained her own version of immortality. So I'll
Yeah.
say immortality through dolls. So what does she need to do this? Unless she's just out there nabbing kids, and that's really all she needs to keep going, which could be the case too.
And you mean what does she need to prolong her immortality?
Yeah, you know, yes, to prolong her immortality, but I'm thinking like if she's got her immortality figured out, you know, nab your kids, um, make your body, then like what else is she up to, right? Unless she's just out there full time, that's all she really needs to keep doing her thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, she's also plotting against her sisters. I don't know if you want to create another like main goal that she has.
Well, even within the scope of plotting against her sisters, I'm thinking that Skabatha of the three witches is probably the most likely to be interacting with everybody else. Because
Yeah, she can
Bavlorna
put
does
on a
it.
mask.
Huh?
She can put on a mask.
Right, exactly. She can just disguise herself very, very easily. Uh, Bavlorna is sort of chilling, doing her own thing, and doesn't leave the house. And then Indolin is, I guess, kind of paranoid as well. I guess they're all paranoid.
Yeah.
But Skabatha, I feel like would be the least paranoid because she's the hardest to pin down.
You said Skabatha what?
I feel like Skabatha would be the least paranoid because she'd be the hardest to pin down.
Ah, that makes so much sense. Yes. She might be even a little cocky about it.
So I'll say least paranoid, greatest mobility of witches. So I can see Skabatha, whereas Indolin's doing like the long con thing. Skabatha is sort of setting up in a lot of places. I can see her being like all over, right?
Oh yeah.
So like for Skabatha, for instance, ooh, I think she's in Thither, right?
Oh gosh. Yes, that's correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
my, I think my headphones turned on. They did. Sorry, was she in Thither?
Yes, she was.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I feel like with Skabatha, and we didn't get super far into Thither, but I feel like um, she could have dolls that like just are everywhere, you know, especially if she's stealing a lot of kids. I don't know how much we necessarily need to tie to that, or if the collection of children comes into something different. But if she's able to operate through these dolls,
Yeah.
it's just kind of interesting to me. I feel like she could have a very oppressive iron grip. You know, she could be that way, or she could be very sneaky if she needed to.
You know, there's also something else that Skabatha has that might be fun to play with. She has control of things called living dolls. They're essentially things, they look just like a doll. They're sitting on a shelf, they sit still, they don't blink. It's kind of like a Toy Story thing, but creepy.
Hmm.
They can see everything you do, and you don't even know because it looks just like a toy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she can like live through her dolls, then or like see through her dolls, then it seems to me that she would have just like a network, right? She'd have spies everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Skabatha, I almost feel like is sort of this crafter, but I'm also starting to sort of envision her as like more akin to a doll master, or sorry, a spy master. Um, Whereas Indolin is like the super intelligent, has seen the future, you know, knows the future, can view it at will. Uh, you know, I feel like there's a lot of room with Indolin. Indolin and Skabatha now feel pretty distinct to me, which is nice. Uh,
Good.
and
Good,
then
good, good.
Bavlorna. Bavlorna. Have you seen what is it? Never. It might be Never Ending Story actually. think it is Neverending Story. Have you seen Neverending
Oh.
Story?
Um, I saw bits and pieces. Excuse me, bits and pieces of it. I saw bits and pieces of it when I was a kid.
Hmm. Okay. Well, there's an entity, and it's like this massive tortoise, and it's like out in the swamp, and this like entity is like sloth itself, and it's just
Oh,
sort of like laying in the mud, and he's talking to this tortoise, and he's like up in a tree, and the tortoise is like, way way bigger than the tree. It's like a mountain-sized tortoise. It's really cool.
whoa.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like with Bavlorna, with Bavlorna, hmm, she feels she's already got her very distinct vibe, right? She's
Yeah,
she's like
yeah.
the one and only like swamp witch that's here. I think I would like maybe to replace her art as well. Um, I don't know, maybe because I envision like she is a force of, oh, what's the word? It's not lust. It's when you like want something and you can't get enough. Gluttony.
Oh,
She's a force of like
gluttonous.
gluttony and lethargy, and she's a hoarder.
Uh-huh.
She brings things to her.
Well, I think that's part. I think the hoarding is part of the gluttony.
Right, right.
You know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So I guess what I'm thinking of is like, what is Bavlorna up to?
Huh. So she usually stays at her house because she likes to keep an eye on her things herself, and she likes to just do her taxidermy. But she does leave when she visits her sisters.
Hmm.
So, hmm, what does she want? I feel like she would lean pretty heavily on her lornlings for the things that she needs, much like Scabatha uses her dolls.
Right, right. So with Scapitha, she has so much mobility to both utilize her army of dolls and her own multitude of bodies. And for Bavlorna, she is, I don't know, what do I want to capture with Bavlorna? I like the theme of gluttony. I like the theme of um, stagnation. But what would make Indolin and Scabatha afraid of Bavlorna?
Huh. What would make them afraid of Luna? Let's see. Uh,
Hmm.
reading her little blurb. See if I can get anything. don't know. That's a good question. What does Babylona have, or what does she do? What is her strength here?
So, what I'm kind of thinking, and what I was sort of thinking, is if Bavlorna was maybe the... Let me think. Skabatha's edge is you can't catch her. She can be anywhere. Indolin's edge is she already knows everything that's going to happen. Bavlorna accumulates things. So I feel like, what if... And I was kind of thinking about this too, because I was like, this is a witch that, like, steals identities, right? And I was like, what does she do with these identities and with these memories? And she's even holding this, like, weird arcane crystal staff. If I can just look at this picture.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, let me just look up Bavlorna. What if Bavlorna was the strongest in terms of just, like, raw arcane power? Because she is just amassing as much as she can. So, like, what if
she was the one that came up with the time spell on the theme of stagnation, and she can mess with time, like slow it down and or freeze things?
Ooh, so
Run along with that arcane ability.
Interesting. So she has the ability to lock things in time.
She needed her sisters in order to do the spell, but she was the one that created it and came up with it, maybe.
Ooh, okay. Let's...
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's write this down. God damn it. Come on. Well, I'll have to make a new thing. So, Bavlorna... Whoop. Alright, hang on. I gotta reload this. Discord browser's being weird. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. It looks like I can edit my stuff again. Sweet. So Bavlorna has the most raw power and can control time. Through stagnation. Because if you think about it, that's kind of what has happened, is even though each of the witches partitioned off their own piece of the Feywild, that piece is locked in time. And so it does make sense if Bavlorna, if the time spell, or like if the spell that you know, sundered the Feywild was just a massive stagnation spell. You know, sort of adjacent to, I guess them, like, literally blocking everything off. That would make sense. I actually really do like the idea that Bavlorna is, like, maybe the strongest. And maybe that's why she can sit in the middle of a town and nobody fucks with her, you know?
Nobody fucks with her.
And, like,
And
even
the town
the other
runs
witches.
for her.
Yeah. She's just incredibly, incredibly powerful. And even though the other witches are also powerful, I don't know. And so the other thing too was, like, she is acquiring magical items, right? what's Bavlorna doing this for? Agden was robbing people, but was it really
Yes.
just for her to have a bunch of loot to stash somewhere? Like she does accumulate things, but is Bavlorna lazy or is she very active? I like the idea of reclusive, maybe more so than lazy, because even
Ah.
even though she has these themes of stagnation, I'm very curious. She has this relationship with Agden where she encountered Agden at some point and set up this arrangement, right?
Huh.
She moved the crocodilians north to Downfall, and I think we discussed that a little bit. So even if she doesn't get around much, she's doing some stuff. And it almost kind of seems like Bavlorn is setting something up as well. Even though she might be doing
Yeah.
it, from her sofa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me make a note of this. Can control time. Can steal memories. So something else too about her being the most raw, having the most raw power. Now that I'm kind of fleshing this out a little bit, is if she's accumulating these magical items, is she doing something with them? Is she, and I guess in particular I'm thinking she's amassing, she's drawing the power out of them, and she's just absorbing it. And maybe that's what makes Bavlorna so scary, is because she can steal your memories, she is the oldest because her body is like as old as her body is, but her mind and what she has experienced through stealing other things' memories makes her like way older and more experienced than Indolin or Scabatha.
Because
Which,
she's essentially lived the lifetimes of all those people she stole memories from.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So this,
I like the yes.
go on.
I like the idea that she not only does it for that, but if they're always scheming against each other, she might take some of those items and use them for like bribery to bribe her sisters with, or to trade for something else that's more powerful.
Mm-hmm. So
But
she's
I like
amassing
the idea
power.
of amassing, yeah, 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 for sure, amassing power.
Think we'll like even power in the sense of like having things to trade, that kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
But what were you saying?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were about to start up a new point.
No.
So you,
Yeah, that was the point. Was the just amassing power through both means.
mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Memories. Old. Okay. Hmm. 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 What kind of magic does Indolin use?
And I thought we said divination. Are
Well,
you looking
yeah,
for something more
yeah.
specific?
Well, yeah, I guess I was thinking. I was thinking moon magic that like came to mind, and I was like, what does that look like? What does that mean? If she's doing this like astronomy, astrology, magic.
Actually, let's see.
controls high elf entities. So Endolin can look through time. So she's a diviner, but Bavlorna's the only one that can actually lock it down. And Skabatha doesn't really seem to have a relation to time. What does Skabatha represent? The past?
Future, present. Past, the past.
The
People's
past.
memories, their regrets.
The regrets.
People's regrets, that's what I meant.
Skabatha. Let's tie Skabatha to the past a little bit more. Because being able to see the future at will and being able to freeze time itself are both super strong. And even though I like the flavor that we've come up with for Skabatha, the past doesn't seem to be like a strong theme for her. Although I see what you mean about like the regrets.
Yeah.
What would a power be that she has pertinent to the past?
Pertinent to the past. Pertinent to the past. That's a really good question.
What is a good power for the past? It's a good X-Men ability.
The regrets that people have from their past just be the fuel she needs to get them to make a deal with her. So if someone came to her and was like, my long lost love, I need to be reunited with them. That's something. Do you see what I'm saying? The parallel I'm making there?
Yeah, like she knows what like the triggering the decision making thing would be. She can find it in your past.
She knows what to prey on. I think that's what I'm getting at.
I do like the idea of using the past for that like predatory operation she's got going on.
Yeah.
A good
Is
power.
that what you meant by power?
Yeah, but I kind of want to define it a little bit. So you can see forward at will, can freeze everything in its present. And
What if she can reveal truths about other people's pasts? So like if someone came to her and was like, hey, 10 years ago this deal went under and I want to know why it went under. And she's like, oh, your partner 10 years ago fucked you over. So it's like
so she can
see everyone's past.
See everybody's past and not just her own.
Yeah. Just trying to get the ideas flowing here.
I actually really like that because it's easy to play on, and as the DM you could be like, oh, don't you remember doing this thing or doing that thing?
Oh.
Skabatha. So what if Skabatha could see into the past of people one of her dolls is around. I'm trying to think of like a caveat to it, right? So like, although seeing into the future at will is pretty fucking strong.
That is pretty strong.
Okay, I like this idea. She knows. So, because if she knows everything about everything that's already happened, then she's basically like a super genius. And
Yeah.
I feel like. Avi, hush. I feel like it sort of ventures into Bavlorna's sort of like immortality. I don't know. Bavlorna's kind of interesting now, like with her stagnation theme, because if she's accumulating these memories, she's like effectively her life is getting longer and longer and longer, even though her body is essentially stagnating in the present, right?
Yeah.
So in her own way, she is, let me get this down. She is immortality through accumulation.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
And Skabatha is immortality through like creations, I guess. She's essentially like creating these dolls over and over and over. So all three of them have their time powers. Okay, so wait. So Skabatha's time power is knows the pasts of the people she meets. Okay, how does that work though? Knows the past of the people she meets.
What if it's like
Does she have to meet them?
when she meets people face to face, she gets a very clear idea of their past, like crystal clear. But if it's adjacent, so if the person's like, I want to know X about my brother, it's like she can still see, but it's a little fuzzier because um they're not in person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to put like a caveat for the players. So it's like unless we want them to her to just like instantly know everything about the past. But I'm almost thinking like a Medusa thing where like if you don't look at her, she doesn't know your past, you know?
Or
Or
what if it's a trickery thing?
that's kind of what I'm
What if it's like a
yeah, like if it's triggered somehow basically is kind of what I'm getting at.
well, one thing I tried to get y'all with, and I think I got two of y'all, was when Bavlorna asked, "May I have your names?" Ira just gave his name.
Yeah.
He also gave her access to like his memories by giving her his by giving her his name. So maybe it's something like that, like may I have this? May I have your name? And if you give your name, then she has everything. Or it could be only if she touches you, then she has everything.
I think that
Within
might
a
be kind
certain
of interesting.
radius.
Ooh, actually, if she was, I believe that's called onomancy in D&D, but it's like the magic of names. if we did that, that would be a really interesting explanation for how she is using these dolls to extend her life, as she's basically like, you know, inscribing her true name into these dolls, and it's sort of passing her between them. Just a thought. So so it's if she knows your name, she knows your entire past perfectly.
Oh,
It's like, do we want to put limits on on this thing?
yeah, I'm just that's a big thing.
Because I
Ooh,
feel
that's a lot of blackmail.
that it's a lot of room for her to just be like a super genius and know everything about everything. So I'm wary
Yeah.
of doing that, and partially because amassing everything about everything is kind of what Bavlorn is up to.
Yeah. So what if it's just a glimpse then? What if it's a glimpse into a like a pivotal moment of your life?
Well,
Or a really intimate moment of your life.
well, I like the idea that she can glimpse it. Because Indolin, I feel like the thing about her, she can look forward at will, right? But she has to
Uh-huh.
be looking for something to see it. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Indolin
yeah.
doesn't know about it, she can't foresee it, right?
Uh-huh.
And I feel
That
like
makes sense, yeah.
knowing about it might be Skabatha's strength. And so maybe, I don't know, but knowing about it also seems like it might be Bavlorna's strength too. Hmm. Knows the past of people. She know. I like the idea of it's people she knows the names of. And I do like the idea of her using the magic of names to do things. Hmm.
What'd you say the magic of names was called?
I believe it's called onomancy. O-N-O mancy.
Did not know that. Wow. So what if oh that kind of goes with what we're talking about. Never mind. Never mind.
Hmm. Oh shit! It's 6:30. Whoops.
Oh shit.
All right. Yeah, I
Whoa.
gotta run actually. I just got a
Okay.
text.
Oh shit.
Um,
Sorry. Sorry to keep you
no,
late.
no, this
Oh.
has been great. I'd actually be down to give this some thought and come back and put our heads together because I really enjoy these brainstorming sessions and I feel like
Yeah.
it just makes running it even easier, you know.
Totally. Yeah, give it a re-listen, give it some thought, and we'll get together a week, 2 weeks, whenever you're not busy with work.
Okay, okay, sounds good. I'll shoot you the recording ASAP.